Good morning, multiverse. Hey there, friends and foes. Welcome to the virtual rec room. This is Back of the Cereal Box. I am your host, the prophet of pop culture, John Pica. And this morning, I am going to be reviewing Firepower by Robert Kirkman, Chris Samnee, and not just Volume 1, Volume 2, 3, and 4. And we are going to do that right after this.
It's like Coca-Cola, Levi Strauss, Johnny Carson and Mickey Mouse. The first star was James Dean. Elvis Presley, yeah, he's still the king. Some things are only imitatable. You can't beat an original. Oh, you can't beat an original.
Welcome back to the virtual rec room, friends and foes. This is Back of the Cereal Box. I am your host, the prophet of pop culture, John Pica. You can call me Johnny. Avengers comic books, Star Wars movies, and Saturday morning cartoons made me who I am today. And I am of an age where we did not have iPhones, smartphones, or tablets on the breakfast table on Saturday mornings. We were reading the Back of the Cereal Box in between cartoons, kaiju, and kung fu movies. And that's what this show is all about. It is a pop culture podcast that celebrates the fun of the Saturdays of our youth while surviving adulthood today. And this morning in my bowl, I've got the classic General Mills Fruit Brute reissued special for this year, and you can read my review watch my review, the magic of live TV, ladies and gentlemen, on our channel on YouTube. I'm going to take a big bite. Exploding with cherry flavor. You got to love it. So, when I was a kid, after cartoons, after kung fu movies, after pro wrestling, after Godzilla movies, a lot of times we were hopping on our bikes and riding to the pool, to the movies, or in my case, most often to the local convenience store or comic book shop to grab a stack of comics. And then we would take them up the hill on the golf course and sit with a stack of comics, some Coca-Cola, some Brock's Red Twist. I really want to sing that theme song. Coca-Cola, Levi Strauss. Hashtag, we're not sponsored by Coca-Cola or Levi Strauss, but we could be. Anyway, so reading comics on the hill was one of my fondest memories of my youth. That was living my best life. And the goal of Back Issue Breakfast Club every week is to expose you to some titles that maybe you aren't familiar with, or you haven't read, or maybe you read a long time ago and had forgotten about, things that we're excited about. And the last couple of weeks, we've been talking mostly about Saturday morning IPs, and we'll continue to do so. But I thought it would be fun to talk about a series from Image, Skybound Entertainment, published by Image, The Firepower. This is by Robert Kirkman, Chris Samnee, and if those names sound familiar, they should. Robert Kirkman is the guy who created The Walking Dead and Invincible. And Chris Samnee has done comics for everything from Daredevil to Captain America. He did a really super classic run of Daredevil with Mark Waid. And then he went on to do Captain America, Black Widow, I think some Hawkeye. And he is a perfect fit for this story. Now, I've got 4 volumes here. I'm not going to take a deep dive into all 4 volumes because they're already into volume 5 at the comic book shop. You can get the floppies, but the first 4 volumes are available in collected trade paperback. Now, I hope that they're going to end with volume 5. I like stories that have a definitive beginning and ending. So we'll have to wait and see. But this series, in a nutshell, imagine Marvel's Iron Fist going to Kunlun, learning how to harness the power of the dragon, having one monumental fight to save the city, and then leaving, quitting, going back to his old life in the old world, getting married, having kids, starting a family. And after he's thought that the firepower was long behind him, they pulled me back in. They pull him back in. That was a terrible impression. They pull him back in and they bring him back to the ancient city where he learned how to harness the firepower deep in the Himalaya mountains. And this is all about the struggle of Owen finding balance between family, wife, and kids, and this immense responsibility he has to save the world from the hand of the serpent, a cult-like organization, kind of like the Hand or the Foot. But they are subservient to the dragon. Spoiler alert, there's a dragon. This reads like a movie. And I believe I just read that Netflix is going to be picking this up. If they aren't, what are you thinking? Netflix, the firepower. It's Robert Kirkman. You cannot go wrong. Now, the artwork by Chris Samnee is gorgeous. It is what I call this economy of line, because he's not one of those artists that uses a lot of line work. He uses very clear, very simple line work to communicate his ideas. And it really works for this because you get that real sense of that middle Asian martial arts style. And it's just a phenomenal read. And it really does read better all in one collected edition. So, volume 1 was actually released before issue 1 as an individual issue. So volume 2 starts with issue number 1. So this is issue number 0, basically. But it's a big volume, the prelude. And when I read it, I was hooked. $9.99. $9, $10. And the individual trades are $16.99. So from volume 2, 3, and 4, $16.99. But you get this awesome story where, you're not sure who to trust, who's on what side. The balance between Owen and his family. You find out his wife is also a pretty badass kung fu fighter. And it dives deep into family heritage and what that means as well. It's so good. So I highly recommend, for a read that reads like a movie or a TV show, checking out The Firepower by Robert Kirkman and Chris Samnee. It is available at your local comic book shop or from our partner, Things from Another World, TFAW. The link is down below. Now, before we go, we need to acknowledge one of our partners. Since we're talking about comic books, we need to say, hey, a big shout out to Comic Books for Kids.
Comic Books for Kids provides comic books to kids in hospitals and cancer centers across the U.S. It's a place where we can all work together to make sure every child has a comic book. 100% of all proceeds go towards the kids. It's about making a difference, and while they're in the hospital, allowing them to fly like a superhero, battle dragons, or rescue teddy bears. We are in every state in the country and now support over 160 hospitals. Every month, we add more.
Visit cb4k.org.
And while you are searching around the interwebs, check out our partners' great music, The Murdering Crows. Their record, Four Bad Crows, is available at Amazon, Google, and Apple Music. And of course, they did that awesomely epic theme song. And while you're at it, Visit Amazon, Barnes & Noble. Check out my book series, Tales of the Decoverse, which includes Night Reich, One Night at the Roxy, and the League of Impossibilists comic book. And that would be awesome. And of course, we need to thank our Cereal Box super friends, Charisse Collins, Cindy Kep, Brian Huff, Dave Manginelli, Dave Mattingly, Crystal Raven Jones, Eli Cash, and you too can become a Cereal Box super fan at buymeacoffee.com/cerealboxpod. Fill in that empty spot and join the ranks of the faithful. Dun, dun, dun. That link, buymeacoffee.com/cerealboxpod, is scrolling along the bottom, so you can't miss it. And if you like our show, go there, become a supporter, buy us a bowl of cereal or 2 or 3, or heck, buy us the whole box or 2 or 3. And if you hate the show, donate even more generously to help us improve it just for you. And of course, like, comment, subscribe on whatever platform you're watching, be it YouTube or Facebook. Click the notification icon, the follow button, so that you never miss another episode of Back of the Cereal Box. And of course, share it. Tell 200-300 of your closest friends and family to come share the fun. And until the next time, love you, mean it. We'll catch you on the back of the cereal box.